welcome to Cover Story. This week we have with us former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amarinder Singh. He is also the face that the Congress is putting forward, expecting to script a comeback in the state. Welcome to NewsX, Captain Sir.
Thank you very much.
And welcome back to Cover Story, because this is, I think, the second interview we're having with you. And I remember last time we met was in Patiala, and that time the Congress morale was a bit low. There was one of your rivals at the helm of the state. But now it seems, and you had pitched a rebellion of sorts against him.
No, I never had a rebellion of sorts against him. That time when we met was when I was going around Punjab. I did a 4-month very intensive touring of Punjab, where I did over 48 public rallies and other things, meetings or tea meetings and etc. with workers, because I felt that the morale was a bit low and we needed to ginger it up before the coming elections.
Ginger it up with the change of guard?
Well, that of course, the change of guard was the Congress President's decision, but certainly gingering up the morale, and I think the morale of the party is very high at the moment, so I think it did work.
I think it's worked when you're being a little modest over here, because there was, I remember at that time, you said you had 48 rallies, Bajwa had one, nobody went to his, everybody went to yours, so it was a kind of show of strength that you were doing. And
not really. You know, you must remember that I have been 47 years in politics. I have been PCC President from 98 onwards. I have been Chief Minister, I have been thrice PCC President, I have been Campaign Committee in charge twice. So naturally people know me better in this field than they knew Mr. Bajwa, who was the President. But that was not the reason why they didn't come. They also felt, I think, that I was taking a very aggressive stance against this government, and they wanted that to happen.
But now it seems that your aggression is changing a bit, away from the Badals and more on Aam Aadmi Party. Do you think the rising AAP is a bigger threat than the not so rising
Not at all.
Badal?
I don't even talk about AAP. I've never even discussed AAP. You know, you are...
You're killing them with indifference or what?
No, not killing them with indifference. I think people are getting a bit mixed up. You know, AAP in Punjab and AAP in Delhi are two different sort of kettle of fish.
I'll disagree with you. Look at how they did in Lok Sabha.
Yeah, I'll come to that. Delhi, it's a different type of AAP. It's a common man's AAP. Right. Here, in addition to what the youngsters' frustration and all, which is the bulwark of the AAP here, you've got people breaking away from the left parties and joining them. You've got Khalistanis joining them. So it's a very hotspot sort of a system, which I don't think it really can compare with AAP there is, what was there in Delhi. Now, what is why they won there is because people of Punjab are frustrated. Do you know that the projections for 2017, when the elections come, Government of India projections, is that the population of Punjab will be 29 million, 2.9 crores, out of which 9 million are between the ages of 18 and 40, where there's completely no jobs available.
But that is AAP's target bank. That's the
exactly. That is why in the parliamentary elections this happened, and that is why suddenly people came up. And Patiala they took 320, in Anandpur Sahib they took 250. In my seat, where I didn't expect Dr. Daljit Singh to get more than 20,000 votes, he took 70,000 votes. So that is there everywhere. But having said that, in these 2 years, AAP's performance in Delhi has gone down. Today, if elections are held in Punjab for Parliament, these 4 AAP seats will be lost to AAP.
This is yet look at his rally recently in Muksar, itna sara crowd that I believe got people worried.
You make an all Punjab crowd, you bring people from Ganganagar, you bring people from Dabwali.
You think it was an organized crowd?
It was obviously an organized crowd. My crowd was only the 4 districts around Muksar, which we normally have. I have in Farod, when we do it in Fatehgarh Sahib, it's only around Patiala and Ropar and this area. There we do the local.
But still, you know, there is a feeling that Kejriwal is a bigger threat in terms of, you know, image. He's talking the kind of language people here want to hear.
I don't think so. I think he's talking, he has to first answer questions which I've asked him. That you are a Haryanvi, Mr. Kejriwal, and our trouble in Punjab is all with Haryana. Our water problem is with you. We are in the Supreme Court. Our land, Abhor Fazilka dispute is with you. Our Punjabi speaking areas, we want the villages from you. Which side are you going to stand on? On Haryana side or on Punjab side? I want him to know, because he's also got his eye on the chief ministership. Let's be clear about it. He may say what he wants. He is a devious character. He may say what he wants, but eventually he wants to shift out, leave that to Sisodia and come here and become chief minister, because it's a full-fledged state, not a state where the police is not with him and all. He's got ambition, this man. And he has to first answer these questions. And he speaks in Maghi, in the Tate Malwa area, which is the hardcore Malwa area, he speaks in Hindi. I don't think half the people would understand him there.
But so, yet they came to here.
They came to see a man who who was the Chief Minister of Delhi. The day before this, incidentally, when he came to those victims of Pathankot attack and went to their villages, there were 7 vehicles with him. He went. When the people heard he was coming, they came and saw him. They saw him and disappeared. They didn't wait to listen to him. They wanted to see what this chap looked like. So he was a phenomena for them, and that was it.
But he said he'll announce the Chief Minister candidate in April or May. This is what
he'll announce himself. I don't think he'll announce himself in April, May. He will keep everyone dangling till the last minute when he will announce himself.
But these days elections really work with a face, with a known face. That's what we've seen, which is why even
which is the face in Punjab which he has other than his own? There's nobody here. He's got.
Well, Bhagwat Maan, Gulpanag, Mr. Phulkar, naam to bahut chal rahe hain.
Punjab is passing through a very critical time. We have our economies in shambles. Farmers are committing suicide. Agriculture is non-remunerative. Industries moved out of the state. Now we've had 10 years of misrule by this government, and now if you have 5 years of experimentation and we go downhill again, Punjab will never recover. You need a government which has experience and which can tackle these problems.
See, same thing was said about Kejriwal and his men in Delhi. But something like an odd-even scheme, they do have people's goodwills to implement that.
No,
and
that is, I think, I am all for it, that odd-even scheme. I think, Delhi is such a mess. I also go often to Delhi. As you know, I'm in Parliament there, but apart from that, I've got a home there where I go. And we don't want to live in a place where children are going to lose their lungs because of pollution, and even the older people are getting asthma and all sorts of
problems. So he's picking issues that are clicking with the people, and he's using them to implement them. So in that sense, he has a chance of success.
No, I'm glad he did it, and I think every Chief Minister has the duty to try and clean up, do things. And in his case, it's been trying to clean up Delhi, which is a good thing. And I didn't support those critics who said that he shouldn't have done it. Question, it doesn't work, because this is not, you can't do things in isolation. You have to take an issue in toto, in full, and in that you've got to see, this is vehicle pollution is a very small element. You've got to see those thermal plants. Why are they belching out so much smoke? What about the trucks that are passing through at night? They are not Delhi trucks, they're just communicating through. You should get them on a bypass and get them out from there.
Would you think of doing something like this for Punjab? Will Punjab see
we don't have a pollution problem to that extent, but yes, we have a pollution problem in our cities, where, I'll tell you in Amritsar, my own constituency, we have our biggest problem is jaundice and typhoid. And why? Because your underground pipes have all corroded, the sewage pipes, and so have your drinking water pipes, and the waters are getting mixed up. And people are drinking a bit of sewage, and this is what is happening. Now, I had left 2,200 crores in the kitty when I was Chief Minister for Amritsar's development. I didn't know I was going to become MP from there. These guys didn't use it for this job. They pulled it out and they given it to Mr. Badal to spread in his Sangat Darshans. Now, these are the sort of things. This is not a government. This is a feudal structure which this Akali Dal is running. And this is something that you have to have modern governance in it. And that is why Punjab is going down the drain. Everything is in a mess.
See, this is the Amarinder Singh that we know, the one who takes on the Badals head on. But now recently you said that I won't jail the Badals, I won't send Sukhbir to this thing. That means,
what do you mean jail the Badals? I'm not, a Chief Minister's job in a democracy is not to say that, I don't like you, I'm going to put you in jail the moment I come. There has to be an investigation.
But you did that in your last stint.
No, I'm sorry.
Was it very personal between you and the Badals?
I'm sorry, this was not the way it happened. It went to court, and the court, my government, asked for their arrest, and their lawyer foolishly never showed up. So the court there was no defense that day, so they were sent off to jail. So it was through the judicial process. It's not because Amarinder Singh doesn't like somebody's face, you catch him and shove him behind bars. That's not the way this works. We are a democracy, we've got a legal system, we have a constitution, it has to work in that manner. But
the way it's seen from Delhi is like Mulayam and Mayawati, Captain Amarinder Singh and the Badals. It's just very personal.
No, Mulayam and Mayawati, I don't know. DMK. They may have their own problems. I disagree with the Badals, total management of this. They are only interested in themselves, nobody is interested in this in the state. That is why it's going downhill. That is why this incident took place in what they did in this Khadur Sahib, which we had to ban.
That's my next question.
And I'll come on to it straight away. And Bargadi. It was to divert public opinion, because today your railways were blocked by the farmers. Everything in Punjab was collapsing. So they engineered this business. It was engineered by the Badals, the tearing of the Guru Granth Sahib, and throwing of all. Yes, I've said it's sacrilege. They don't care about sacrilege. They bother about themselves. That is the strange part. A government that says, the party that says we are of the Sikhs, who control the SGPC, is doing this to save its own, save themselves politically. And therefore they did this in the hope of controlled destabilization. This happened once before, 30 years ago, when Punjab was going through that very lean period. You know what how they started? The people of that time, the government of that time, took the tails and ears of cows and threw them in mandirs, and they threw cigarettes and cigarette boxes into the Gurdwara Sarovars and engineered a clash. And here was something going on the same line. And this is the sad part, that Mr. Badal and all these chaps, and he's been through that. He was there at the 30 years ago. He knows exactly what was happening, and he's a sly fox, let me put it. And I know him, the Badal.
But one thing that you and younger Badal seem to agree on is that the AAP will not work. You know, both of you seem to be united in the way you're dismissing AAP.
Well, I don't know what Mr. Sukhbir Badal's views are. He must have given them to you. But as far as I'm concerned, I consider the AAP not workable in Punjab. It is not going to happen. Yeah, you have youngsters, because youngsters are very frustrated. And this frustration is bringing them into drugs and bringing them onto all things, and they don't know where they're going. And they have every right to feel sort of a sense of anger in them that governments are not doing. We've seen Congress, we've seen Akali Dal, we've seen BJP, let's give these new chaps a try. Not realizing that the new chaps are not going to help them in any way.
Well, so far Kejriwal seems to be riding a wave. Let's see how far it takes him.
Which wave is he riding?
But if he wins, then he'll be the only regional party.
You were talking about in Punjab?
Delhi and in Punjab.
No, so Delhi, I think your own television tells you the story. I don't go around the streets in Delhi to
him
check.
taking on Modi is the central government.
But that is not an issue. Taking on Modi is not promoting us.
Fair enough, it's not governance.
Sheila ji has been there for 15 years.
Right.
Did she ever take on the Prime Minister? Did she ever take on the Finance Minister? Did she ever take on the Governor of Delhi? She did such a wonderful job. I think she's the best Chief Minister Delhi has ever had. This chap is busy with what he can't resolve. He blames the Governor, or he blames Mr. Jaitley, or he blames Mr. Modi. That's not a way a Chief Minister runs. Okay, I was Chief Minister. The 2 years my first 2 years were under Mr. Vajpayee's, when he was Prime Minister. And I got absolute support from the Prime Minister.
But there's a difference between Mr. Vajpayee and Mr. Modi. Supposing if you win again, what is your equation with Mr. Modi? Because maybe you worked with him as a CM. As CMs you worked
I know Mr. Modi in this regard, that when we were Chief Ministers, I was of Punjab and he was from there.
Right.
And we used to meet often in the Chief Ministers' conferences. And whenever he visited Punjab as a Chief Minister, I used to host him. And that is, it's our duty as Chief Ministers. And I have never had any bad relationship with him. So it's nothing. Why should he? He's not. We are not asking for anything special. If I, as a Chief Minister of Punjab, and he is Prime Minister in India, it is my duty to go to the Prime Minister, and it's his duty as Prime Minister to help the states the way it is.
So it won't be like Nitish Kumar and Narendra Modi. It's not going to be such a embittered
I don't
equation.
have. My interest is Punjab's development, and if I want. Mr. Modi can help, then it's my duty to go and meet Mr. Modi to get his help or Mr. Jaitley's help. After all, we've been rivals in Amritsar, but that doesn't matter. I mean, I have known Mr. Jaitley from before that. We have a common interest in military history, so I have known him from before that. And I think when he was Law Minister and I was Chief Minister, I used to meet him in connection with some matters which concerned his ministry. I never had a problem with him. I never had a problem with Mr. Jaswant Singh, who was Finance Minister. So these are things, these governments work with each other. That's no reason that they shouldn't work.
See, this is how would you react, coming back to Sukhbir Badal? He's said that, when your name was propped up recently, he's been saying that you're not a full-time politician. What kind of a challenge will you give? So how do you react when
he'll realize in another 1 year's time when we take his pants off. I mean, he'll realize that. So and he'll know exactly what sort of politicians we are. And the Congress party is gunning for them, and we will gun for them so hard they won't know what's hit them.
One question about the Pathankot terror attack. You've been a bit critical of the government's handling of it. Where exactly did the government go wrong?
I think firstly, there was due notice given by the Punjab police 14 hours before, and that's why the Air Force was on alert and Army was on alert and everybody was on alert. And so I think they've done the Punjab police down, which I don't agree with. Secondly, when this attack started in the morning, you are sitting in Pathankot, which has 50,000 troops in it. You have the 29th Infantry Division, and you have 2 armored brigades there. You have so many troops there that it would have been a question of just one message going to the army, and the army would have acted like that. But the difference in what is happening, there seems to be some sort of a gap between the civil administration and the army, in the sense that the civil administration, your Home Ministry and your NSA and all, look at the NSA, the NSG as their blue-eyed boys. So it had to be done by the NSG. This is not the job of the NSG. NSG's job is to do like that incident in the hotel, in Taj Hotel in Bombay, or hijack of an aircraft or something. Therefore, that sort of role. This role is anti-insurgency. And the Indian Army has been operating in the anti-insurgency operations for donkey's years now in Kashmir. All those infantry battalions who were there in 29 Division must have been through it in Kashmir. So they should have been given the chance, and I can tell you they would have wiped out these chaps without any loss of life. This is a total confusion that took place, and it is the fault of the NSA. I've always said so. It is the fault of the NSA. I think the army would have wrapped it up in an hour, which went on for 3 days here. What are 4 terrorists? You could have, 1 infantry battalion would have surrounded them and sent their, used whatever weapons we have, and even got some, maybe these BMPs or something like that, and put them in and just shoot the hell out of these fellows and finish them off. Why do you wait for these chaps to come?
I think perhaps Modi needed an ex-army man like yourself to advise him.
Well, he's got one chief which he doesn't listen to, ex-Mr. General V.K. Singh. He's put him as a Minister of State, which anyway, that's a different story. I don't want to mention that. A Chief of Army Staff's Order of Precedence at once used to be next to the Prime Minister. And now you have him as a Minister of State in your government. I mean, you devalue the army straight away.
Okay, we need to take a short break, but we're going to come back and talk to Captain Amarinder Singh about the internal politics in the Congress and also a bit about the national scenario. So don't go away. Welcome back to Cover Story. We are in conversation with former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amarinder Singh. Captain Saab, welcome back. And also, you know, we were talking about, we've been talking about Punjab. One last question about the state before I move on to the national scene is, you know, what about the rebels within the party? You know, we have
no rebels. You have only one person who has been shooting his mouth off, Mr. Jagmeet Brar. He's the same Mr. Jagmeet Brar who has just, suspension has just been revoked by the Congress President for making comments against her and the Vice President. It was gracious enough for her to do that. So I've known Mr. Jagmeet Brar for a long time, and he has this habit of sometimes shooting his mouth off, but that's all. I mean, one person, it doesn't mean that the party is up in upheaval. The party is totally united. Party has a 1-point program, let me tell you. The congressman is determined to see the Akali BJP government out.
Are you worried that the Aam Aadmi Party might poach into some of your disgruntled people like Mr. Brar?
Well, I've always called the Aam Aadmi Party a collector of our deadwood. Yes, they can take them.
But what about yourself? There was also talk that you are disgruntled and upset and you may float your own party a while back. Now, of course, you have nothing to be disgruntled about.
That is what you people made out. It's you, the press. You press love jingling up things, na? So you suddenly made me forming another party and going here and going there. I said, why should I do it? I have been in this party since 1969.
But would you have been in this party if they had continued with Mr. Bajwa?
No, whether I would have stayed in the party or not is a different issue. But I wouldn't have formed another party.
But also Rahul Gandhi, for instance, you know, again, a year ago you were questioning the fact that he's not taking over as Congress president. Why is he delaying? You've been a little critical of his leadership.
I was not critical.
Now I find you very, very supportive.
No, I was saying something else.
What were you saying then?
I was saying then that Mrs. Gandhi has been a great president. I have been with her since she took over the Congress in 97.
You came back when she
I joined when she came over in 97. She took over and I came in 97 into her party. And then in 98 she made me president. So I've been working these 16 odd years with her only. She's a wonderful leader to have. I know her so well, and she's a very good person. So what I was saying is that which I told Rahul personally also. I said, look, you have to become Prime Minister of this country one day. I don't have to become. You have to go and learn that Delhi is only the type of people who live in Delhi are just 1 or 2% of India. Now, there are still people who live on berries and roots, and they kill a squirrel or they kill something and eat in our tribal belts. There are people who can't feed. Even my Punjab, in southern districts, We can't, they find it difficult to feed their children twice a day. So that is true India, that you must learn first. And I must say, he accepted that from me, and he's going around. It's not that my advice, but I think he understood that he is going to be our Prime Minister one day.
But what about you and Rajiv Gandhi? Last question, slightly lighter note. You are from Doon School. He's also been from your school.
We were contemporaries. He was 6 months my junior, 1 year my junior in school. But we were good friends. And I used to, well before he was in politics, we used to meet. I was in Delhi in Parliament, and he was flying. So we used to meet quite often. So a wonderful person. And it's a great loss to India that we lost him.
But does this old boys network help you a lot? I mean, there's Naveen Patnaik, there's Kamal Nath, yourself, there's a whole lot of...
I have nothing to do with Odisha, but I do meet him sometimes in some functions and all, yes. It's old boy network, every school has, every college has, every university has. We have in the army, I have more old boy network in the army than I have in schools, because you have a different sort of way you live. In the army, you depend on each other for your life. So you have a different sort of a old boy network.
So it's basically teamwork at various levels.
Yes, I think teamwork at various levels. Yes, but not Doon School. I mean, in Punjab Congress, for instance, I am perhaps the only DOSCO.
Well, Kamal Nath famously said that the DNA of Doon is Congress. I mean, apart from Naveen Patnaik, most people are Congress.
Yes, but that's okay. Naveen's has a heritage, his father, and that sort of way it came through. But Naveen was much after me, so I didn't know him in school. Rahul was 1 year my junior, and Sanjay was 3 years my junior.
Well, you have Rahul here now to carry on that relationship.
Yes, I remember Rahul from a little boy. And therefore, as an uncle figure, I gave him my advice then. And I think he was gracious enough to accept it. And he is touring the country and he's seeing everything.
He never brought up that issue with you?
No, he did. This is what I told him face to face when then it came. And I told him this. And I think he accepted that. As I told you, I felt he accepted it. And I have a very warm relationship with him. So there's no problem.
Well, he must have accepted it because he's counting on you to deliver this state for him.
No, but that is not, you don't, leadership, it doesn't mean friendship only. Leadership means that you feel that a person can deliver, then you give him a job. You don't give him because he's been a friend of your father's. I think you give it because you think that a man can deliver.
You earned your spurs in battle, as you say. But thank you so much for talking to us, and hopefully we'll keep talking to you through this year, and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, that's all for this week. Thank you for watching this edition of Cover Story. We'll see you again, same time next week.